Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2396 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, amateur radio's first independent on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Wadsworth, Ohio, here's Stephen Kenford, N8WB.
Our top story this week highlights a very public special event inspired by Ham's very personal story. A special event call sign is often used to celebrate or honor a person or cause, but this call sign is going on the air very soon in Australia to educate. The subject is a rare and troublesome medical condition. We hear more from John Williams, VK4JJW.
In 1989, Bernie Terry, VK4KX, was diagnosed with acromegaly, a rare condition resulting from an overproduction of growth hormones in the pituitary gland. Other health problems such as diabetes and cardiomyopathy can accompany it. Bernie writes on his QRZ.com page that although surgery can help some patients, it did not resolve things for him. He decided that even as he attempts to manage the condition and its various related issues, he'll be on the air as VI4ACRO, that's VI4ACRO, throughout the month of November. His goal is to raise awareness about this condition and to encourage people to learn more about it. Bernie said he'll have the assistance of at least one other operator with the condition, Eric, VK4XR, and he's hoping to find other hams willing to take the time to get on the air. The call sign will be active only during the month of November, kicking off on the 1st of the month, which is International Acromegaly Awareness Day. See the QRZ.com page for VI4ACRO, VI4ACRO, for additional QSO details or to contact Bernie if you can operate during the month. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
It took a few years of planning and then a 3-year interruption during the COVID-19 pandemic, but now an international conference of amateurs is preparing to gather again in Croatia, as we hear from Jeremy Booth, G4NJH.
Inspired by the radio club Porec 9A1P, which takes its name from the Croatian town on the coast of the Adriatic Sea, the second Istria Contest Conference is scheduled for October the 6th, 7th and 8th and has been attracting a lot of attention. The pandemic called everything to a halt and organisers waited years for last year's inaugural gathering to happen. Already next month's second event is drawing international attendance to the Croatian region known as Istria. One of the organisers, Mirko 9A6KX, told Newsline that hams have already reserved spots from New Zealand, Saudi Arabia, Germany, Austria, Italy, Hungary and much of the rest of Europe. Not surprisingly, the programme material is not limited to contesting. Presenters include the popular YouTube channel producer and blogger Raisa, R1PIG/087BG, who will speak on Wales' prominent roles in amateur radio, and a number of youth-related forums. There will also be live video calls with 2D expeditions, the 5W0LM operation on Samoa and W8S on Swains Island. For details, visit the link that appears in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Jeremy Booth, G4NJH.
With a hope for clear skies on Saturday, October 14th, a small group of soda enthusiasts in Oregon will be climbing the peaks, not just for a chance at summit-to-summit contact, but to stop long enough to experience a total eclipse of the sun from an elevation. Andy Morrison, K9 AWM, has that story for us.
Hams who are also fans of soda activations and camping out don't really need an excuse like an eclipse to make a big weekend event happen. But Tim, N7KOM, and his friends are seizing the moment anyway in Oregon. The state's southeastern region is in the path of totality for the annular eclipse, and that is as good an occasion as any for a hike up to Drake Peak, SOTA designation W70/CE002, and Light Peak W70/004. Riding on the SOTA reflector, Tim announced his own plans to camp at Mud Creek Campground and arrive on one of the summits by 9:20. His rig and, of course, his camera will be ready. Any operators wanting to contact him in advance should email him at timn7kom@gmail.com. He is willing to bulk order viewing glasses to wear so everyone can safely view the event. The weekend doesn't end when the eclipse is gone, however. Tim expects to keep getting more summons right up through Sunday afternoon. This is Andy Morrison, K9 AWM.
AMSAT has announced 2 keynote speakers for the 41st Annual Space Symposium and Annual General Meeting, as we hear from Kevin Trotman, N5PRE.
2 notable radio amateurs will be presenting at the banquet being held at the AMSAT Space Symposium in Texas on October 20th and 21st. AMSAT has announced that the keynote speaker will be Bob Twiggs, KE6QMD, who is a co-inventor of the form factor for the popular miniature satellites known as CubeSats. He will be joined by Nick Pugh, K5QXJ, a telecommunications technology specialist. Nick's notable efforts have included the help he has given the college team at the University of Louisiana, Lafayette, to be the first campus team of its kind to build and launch satellites. Meanwhile, if you want to be a presenter at the symposium, AMSAT is still accepting papers on topics that are related to amateur satellites. Final copies of the symposium papers are due by the 12th of October. But in the meantime, AMSAT would like to receive a tentative title for the talk. Send abstracts and papers to Dan Schultz, NAFGV, at nafgv@amsat.org. October promises to be a busy time for satellite enthusiasts everywhere. Just a week before the symposium in Texas, AMSAT UK will be holding its 2023 colloquium on the 14th to 15th of October in Milton Keynes, alongside the Radio Society of Great Britain's convention. The weekend will include the annual general meeting of AMSAT UK and, of course, the gala dinner. For details, visit the website that appears in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Kevin Trotman, N5PR.
In Tennessee, some newly licensed hams are adding vital skills to the state's Medical Reserve Corps. Peter Nash, N5ASH, has those details.
Andrew Albertson, KN4CTG, has a little extra pride in his voice when he talks about the latest group of technician class amateurs who passed their license exam in Tennessee. That's because they are graduates of a class he taught. They're not just new hams, but volunteers with the Tennessee Medical Reserve Corps, which began offering the classes last year. The MRC is giving a new priority to encouraging members to get their amateur radio licenses. The Tennessee MRC, which is overseen by the Tennessee Department of Health, is part of a national network of more than 200,000 volunteers. Andrew told Newsline that he began teaching the classes last year after Melanie Grant, KQ4ARE, coordinator for the MRC's South Tennessee area, asked if he would be willing to help expand the volunteer skill set in that region to include communications. Since then, he has also taught classes in the Tennessee's MRC in the nearby Upper Cumberland region. The goal, he said, is to have a total of 50 to 60 volunteers licensed between the 2 regions to provide what he called an organic capability in communication within the ranks of the volunteers. The MRC does not replicate the work of ARES or RACES. Its mission is to be part of a larger public health response in the event of a crisis. Andrew told Newsline in a phone interview, quote, "By offering this, we can have a much more capable MRC without having to rely on other groups," end quote. He said he will be gearing up shortly for the next classes, which are free and use a modified curriculum based on ARRL materials. The 16-hour course is offered over a 3-day span. The technician license test is given at the conclusion. Andrew said that anyone interested in joining the Tennessee Medical Reserve Corps should visit the website. You can find a link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Skeeter Nash, N5ASH.
Time for you to identify your station. We're the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including WA5AIR, the Texas Link system, which carries Newsline on 7 repeaters on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 7 p.m. local time. Fans of all ages spent 2 days at a beautiful World Heritage Site in India where they devoted their efforts to the advancement of science and the art of radio. We have those details from Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
More than 200 radio amateurs came to West Bengal, India, from around the world for 2 days of sessions and workshops designed to expand skills and knowledge in the ever-evolving science of ham radio. The Oscar Amateur Radio Convention was held September 23 and 24 at the UNESCO World Heritage Site, known as Shanti Niketan, considered an epicenter of education and literature. Special sessions were devoted in particular to engaging more YLs and more youth in amateur radio. Steve Shade, KN6TKO, presented a forum introducing digital radio. Satellite enthusiasts got a chance to experience amateur satellite communication via the geostationary satellite QO100 as contacts were logged between Qatar and India. One of the core presentations focused on nurturing the spirit of experimentation among high school students. The session was called Maximizing High-Frequency DX Success, Antennas, Propagation, Etiquette, and Planning. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
The United States Marine Corps is inviting hams to get in the running and support one of the nation's largest marathons without even lacing up their running shoes. Patrick Clark, K8TAC, explains how.
It's called the Marine Corps Marathon, but it is also known as the People's Marathon. Running through Washington, D.C. and nearby Arlington County, Virginia, the race is a showcase of discipline and physical fitness, the kind of traits espoused by the United States Marines. The organizing team needs an estimated 150 ham radio operators at the event to help ensure the runners stay safe as they make their way through the nation's capital on Sunday, October 29th. More than 29,000 runners are expected to participate. To volunteer for this important event, you can sign up online, select what assignment you want, and then create your profile. Hams who volunteer will be part of a critical communication network designed to ensure safety among runners, spectators, and even fellow radio operators. Hams will need to attend one training session before the race and have access to an HT with VHF capacity and enough battery power to last for 12 hours. For other details or to volunteer, see the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
Congratulations to the ARRL Foundation, which is celebrating a half-century of philanthropic work on behalf of the amateur radio community. The foundation, which operates in partnership with the ARRL, provides grants to clubs, scholarships to students, and gives other gifts in support of keeping ham radio vibrant for the next generation of operators. According to the ARRL website, the nonprofit organization reported in its most recent annual audit that it had $8 million in assets. It has been a long journey for the small charity that had simple beginnings in September of 1973 when it was formed with $1,000 and the efforts of a number of members of the League's board of directors. Larry Shima, W0PAN, is the sole surviving member of the original board of the foundation. He says on the ARRL website that he is particularly proud of the scholarship recipients that the foundation has been able to support over the years. The ARRL said it expects to award more than 100 scholarships next year in amounts ranging from $500 to $25,000. In the world of DX, be listening for Elvira IV3FSG operating as 6W/IV3FSG from Senegal between the 26th of September and the 16th of October. She is operating SSB and the digital modes in her spare time. See QRZ.com for QSL details. OH1VR is on the air as SB9/OH1VR from Crete, IOTA, number EU015, from the 28th of September to the 3rd of October. SEPA will be operating mainly CW and can be found on 160 through 6 meters QSL direct to his home call. Be listening for Maurizio, IK2GZU, operating as 5H3MB from Tanzania from the 8th of September until the 8th of December, in between doing volunteer work at a local orphanage. He will be operating SSB, CW, and the digital modes on 80 to 10 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. The Wireless Institute of Australia is celebrating the milestone of 90 years of publishing its official journal, Amateur Radio. The WIA has reserved the special event call sign BK90AR that any WIA member or affiliated club can use through December 31st to help with the celebration. See QRZ.com for QSL details. We end this week's newscast with a party. It's a birthday party for a ham who has just turned 106 years old. And you're invited. Here's Ralph Squilacci, KK6ITB.
3 years ago, when he turned 103, Oscar Norris, W4OXH, had to settle for a celebration that amounted to being a drive-through birthday party. It was the middle of the pandemic, and to keep everyone safe, well-wishers' cars rolled past the North Carolina Assisted Living Center where Oscar lives and kept the party moving, literally. This year, as the oldest active ham in the States, and perhaps even the nation, welcomed the age of 106, he was finally able to welcome his guests in person. His ham friends and his church friends mingled and celebrated the man everyone calls Grandpa. 2 days before his actual birth date, he was already doing one of the happiest meet and greets of a lifetime. For many of those attending, it has indeed been a lifetime, and more. Tony Jones, N4ATJ, president of the Gaston Radio Club in Gastonia, North Carolina, was a 14-year-old boy when Oscar handed him a book and encouraged him to study for his license. When Tony later got another license, the one that put him behind the wheel of a car, he would drive a lot with Oscar, who became blind after an eye infection more than 70 years ago. Tony told Newsline, quote, "Oscar is a legend here," end quote. If you couldn't get to Cortlandt Terrace Assisted Living for the party on the 23rd of September, you can still join the celebration, wherever in the world you may be, by listening for the call sign N10. North Carolina's biggest ham radio fans of Oscar Norris are using that call sign until the 1st of October, working from their home QTH or even going to activate a POTA station. Tony said it is because Oscar has been a friend and an Elmer to everyone throughout his exceptionally long life. He said, quote, "This is all to honor our beloved Oscar. He is one of a kind and means the world to all of us," end quote. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Ralph Squilacci, KK6ITB.
If you have a piece of amateur radio news that you think Newsline would be interested in, send it on. We're not talking about advertising your club's upcoming Hamfest or field day participation, but something that's out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at arnewsline.org. If it's newsworthy and we'd like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. Meanwhile, give some thought to the true poetry of amateur radio and let your literary self shine through. Visit our website to learn more about the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. Use the entry form on our website, and please follow the rules for the number of syllables you must use to write your 3-line haiku. With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, Andrew Albertson, K9, 4, CTG, CQ Magazine, David Behar, K7, DV, Enigma Reloaded, 425 DX News, Facebook, Gaston Gazette, Intrepid-DX Group, Mirko, 9A6KX, Houston Today, The Quill Ahmed, BU3HZW, ShortwaveRadio.de, Tony Jones, N4ATJ, Wireless Institute of Australia, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation, and if you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2 GUT at the news desk in New York and our news team worldwide, I'm Stephen Kinford, NAWB in Wadsworth, Ohio, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023, all rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Next starts in about 10 minutes.
Okay, WA4, WGA27. WB8CXO, WA4, WGA27.
I am here. Do you hear me okay? I'm coming in on the UHF side, which has weak receive audio. Go ahead.
You're full scale into UHF. Very quickly, positive note over here. Therapy has been restarted with the idea of assisted living being the end result.
So that means you're going to be moving?
At some point, there will be an evaluation on that after the assisted living. Like I said a long time ago, the mind and the body know how to do the things. The muscles don't. So the muscles have to be retrained.
Well, what do you think? Are you noticing an improvement? Are you in therapy now?
I am now, and the last month's evaluation said that they've seen some improvement, and we hope to see that continue. Also, there has been a fairly long period of time without seizures, so we may be on the road to progress.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, hopefully you can get in a place that's more radio friendly.
That's my hope as well. I'll give you a call on the phone sometime and go into the greater details. In the meantime, we got a lot of activity here, so I'll cut it short. WA4, WGA.
Okay, great. Yeah, we got net in about a little bit less than 5 minutes. Good news. Keep up the good work. WB8CXO.
W8VPV. Repeater.
W8EZT, to anybody monitoring the 27 side, is this coming through at normal volume on the 27 side?
Yes, it is. There was quite a bit of receiver noise on the 27 input during Newsline.
Okay, we are apparently having some problems up there with the repeater. It looks like the audio output going to the UHF side is not making it. I can hear audio in there, but it's very, very low. So I guess I'm going to have to try to get up there this week or this weekend and figure out what's going on. All right, thanks very much. Appreciate the insight. I'm mobile right now. I'll be home hopefully in time for the net to start. W8EZT, good hearing in there, Ray.
Au contraire, mon frère. Mike's audio was good in the UHF when he was on a little bit ago. No problem at all. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night VHF UHF Net. My name is John, and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. If you are hearing another station, advance your squelch to take that out. That's some distance away. It's not this repeater. Okay, this is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call 1 at a time. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until we're done. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been worked, I will close the net after repeating the announcements and giving one last call for check-ins. We also operate a band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and the equipment. This evening we will be on 6 meters, so everybody that has a license has the privileges. It will be on 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. Okay, so here are the announcements. Wednesday of next week, that's October 11th, is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club business meeting. Then on October 25th is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club activity meeting with the activity to be announced. In November, the second Wednesday of the month will be our activity meeting, and then the fourth Wednesday of the month will be our business meeting, and that will be the last business meeting of the year. That's on November 22nd. The day after that business meeting is the Geneseret Home Run for the Homeless, so I'll watch for contacts for asking you to participate in that operation of the Home Run for the Homeless. I think that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John, WO3X, at the mic, asking for officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club.
Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango.
W8EZT, go ahead, Frank.
Well, good evening, everybody out there. I am mobile right now, but I have just found out that apparently we're having some issues with the 440 side of the repeater. If you need to contact us through 440, that's fine. We'll be able to hear you, but apparently the audio that we're sending back to the repeater is transmitted at a very low level. So you may have to switch over to 27 to hear the other side of the conversation. We will get on that and try to resolve that sometime this week. I do apologize. I don't know how long this has been going on, but we'll work on it there. And yes, we are having some noise on the 2-meter side. It's time to go up there and do a comprehensive tune-up. So we'll be doing that probably in the next couple of days also. That's all I've got. Very good. Back to you, John. You're doing a great job. W8EZT here.
Okay, I have you checked in, and thanks for that information. Yeah, that reminds me, on Wednesday, let's see, this Wednesday, October 4th, at 7:30 p.m., is a Zoom meeting for officers and trustees. Again, that's this Wednesday, October 4th, 7:30 p.m., a Zoom meeting for the officers and trustees. Okay, are there any other officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? Please call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
K8ZT, K8ZT.
K8ZT, Anthony, go ahead.
Just confirmed the program for October 25th. It will be Steve Dick, K1RF, and he'll be talking about end-fed antennas. So that will be the program coming up on the 25th. It's K8ZT.
Okay, I got that, Anthony. K1RF end-fed antennas on October 25th. Okay, yeah, very good. Thanks.
One more item, John.
Go ahead.
The newsletter came out yesterday, so there was an email that went out with the link, but you can also go to the website and get to the newsletter. So the October issue of the Chattering Relay is available on the website. This is K8ZT.
Yeah, very good. Okay, Anthony announced that the Chattering Relay newsletter went out yesterday, and I saw it, and I saw my article, and a good job was done on mine with getting the text beside the pictures, and so there's other stories in there about their CFARC to the field operations. So take a look at that, and there's also some other good information in there. So anything else, Anthony?
That's all. This is K8ZT.
Okay, thanks, K8ZT. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking, are there any other members or officers who have information for the net?
John, I forgot one other thing. This is K8ZT.
Okay, very good. Go ahead, Anthony.
Technician classes will be starting this Sunday, October 8th at 1:30 p.m. Please go to the website for information. If you're interested, register there. If you can't get to the website, just go to tiny.cc/BAHAM, and that'll give you information on signing up for the technician class. Classes are free. They're done via Zoom, and we welcome anyone from anywhere or any age Frank and Jim Grover will also be two of the other instructors. This is K8CT.
Okay, net standby. This is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor. Okay, regarding the class, the technician license class, it starts this Sunday, that's October 8th. And so go to www.cfarc.org and click on the word education, and then it has information about the class. And then after there's an item there, a bulleted item that says after you read through the slides, if you are interested in attending the class, you must register at this link, and it gives the link, tiny.cc/CFARC-TECH. So I recommend that you sign up soon, because you want to get the book for the class. So register for that, and it's all online, so you don't have to go anywhere. Anybody in the world can take this class. So with that, this is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor, asking, are there any other members or officers who have an announcement of general interest to the club?
Evening, John, WB8YYS, Greg and Kent.
WB8YYS, go ahead, Greg.
Okay, good evening, John, and good evening to everybody on the net this evening. For those that didn't check into the Aries net there earlier this evening, on behalf of the Aries group, I'd like to thank everybody that helped us out with the Akron Marathon. Our help was well received on that, and everybody was pretty pleased with the way that went. For myself, I'm looking forward to the meeting here in a week and a half, and the Zoom meeting on Wednesday. Not really a lot of construction done here today. I did take my brother up to the Cleveland Clinic for his 6-month examination, and happy to say that he has now been considered cancer-free. So I didn't get a lot done today, but what I did get done was important, so I'm real happy about that. John, I'm going to turn it back to you. I got a DMR net I got to check into on Talk Group 3139. Everybody have a really good start to the week. Enjoy the weather while it's out there, and we'll talk to you soon. W8VPV, WB8YYS. We'll see you later.
Okay, Greg, very good. Thanks for checking in, and we will be joining you on Wednesday at 7:30 on Zoom. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor. Are there any other officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? Okay, I'm not hearing any. I will now take check-ins 5 at a time. Let me acknowledge each call sign one by one. This is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor.
W83JAC. In and out.
Okay, I got WA3JAT, and I got AB8OU in and out. Some more?
Kilo Echo 8 Tango Quebec Romeo Keith in Uniontown KE8TQR.
KE8TQR. I have you. Another check-in, please. Well, that was a pile up there. Go ahead, one of you.
K8HMS.
Okay, I got K8HMS. Another one, please. November 8, November Hotel, Martin Akron, in and out. Okay, I got November 8, November Hotel, in and out, and there was one more in there. Go ahead. D8YAX. No. Okay, I got KD8YAX Forest. We'll get back with you in a moment. And there was one more there.
KE8YIR in and out.
KE8YIR in and out. Okay, thanks. So let's go back up to KD8TQR. KE8TQR, go ahead.
W8VPV, this is KE8TQR. Good evening to everyone on the net tonight. Good to hear everybody. Hope everyone had a great day. It was real pretty out there today. I guess we got some rain coming, but anyway, not much traffic. I won't hold you up. Sounds like you got a lot of people trying to check in. Everyone have a great week, and just take care out there. And with that, I'll send this back to Net Control. This is KE8TQR, wishing everybody 73.
Okay, very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. And if you can, check in on the 6-meter net this evening. Thanks. Okay, so let's see, that takes us to Steve, K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
Yeah, hi, John, everybody on the net. I'm checking in here on the 440 side. I don't know if it's my radio. I don't think so, but just listening to the net on the 440 side, it's all garbled. So I'm not sure what the deal is. It's fine on the 2-meter side, but anyway, yeah, just enjoying this weather. Been doing a bunch of yard work, trying to get ready for when the bad weather does hit. So, and not doing much operating, but I enjoyed the articles on newsletter about See Far to the Field. I liked your setup there, John. That was pretty cool. Anyway, I guess that's about it. Hopefully see you on 6. WAVPV, KHMS.
Yes, Steve. At the beginning of the net, Frank announced that we will be able to hear on the 440 side, but it doesn't transmit very well, really low. So that's how come you're hearing what you are hearing. So thanks for checking in, and maybe we'll hear you on the 6-meter side on 50.270 megahertz. Thanks. Okay, so that takes us to Forrest, KD8YAX. Go ahead, Forrest, with your comments. Okay, I guess Forrest was in and out, so that takes us to KE8YIR. Go ahead with your comments. Okay, I guess he was in and out also. So, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
WA-DIS, Yankee Tango Golf. WA-3JAT.
Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, this is KE8VQX, in and out.
KPU.
Okay, let's see, I missed a couple of them, but I got KE8DIS in and out. Thanks, Dave. I got WA3JAT. We'll get back with you in a moment. I got KE8VQX in and out. I got K8PU Larry. And there was one more in there. Okay, maybe I got all of them. Okay, so that takes us to Jim, WA3JAT. Go ahead with your comments.
VPV, WA3JAT. Very good evening to everybody. It was a beautiful day and managed to get a hike in on the Metro Parks this afternoon. And also happily at 2:15 in the morning I was able to work the de-expedition in Tristan da Cunha ZD9 whiskey. So everything's good. Back to you, Ned.
Very good. Congratulations on getting ZD9 whiskey and getting your one of your Metro Park hikes in. So we hope to hear you on 6 meters there on 50.270. So let's see, KE8VQX was in and out, so that takes us to Larry. K8PU, go ahead, Larry, with your comments.
John, everybody on the net? Oh, yeah, wonderful weather. Just like Jim said, Linda and I got a little hike in down at Cascade this afternoon, and wow, beautiful. I know it's short-lived. Like Steve was saying, we're trying to get everything, outside yard work done, and things caught up, repair some fence and a few things that needs done, because I know around the corner it's not going to be really good weather for that sort of thing. That's about it, John, so say 73 is everybody on that, and I'll be listening. Back to you. W8VPV, KPU.
Okay, Larry, very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Maybe we'll hear you on 6 meters later. Okay, so that takes us to the bottom of the list. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking for check-ins.
KE8YTG.
KE8YTG, we have you. Another one, please.
WB8CXO.
WD8CXO, we have you, Mike. Another one, please.
N8BAY.
Was that N8 Victor Alpha Yankee?
Number 8 Bravo Alpha Yankee. Ralph and Stowe.
Okay, I have you, Ralph. Another check-in, please. KE8KVI. KE8KVI, and let's see how many we have here. KE8KVI. Okay. Okay, that's good. So, let's see. Let's go up to Steve, KE8YTG. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
Roger, this is KE8YTG, Steve. Just enjoying a nice day today and taking care of some firewood management before the winter sets in, and looking forward to a great week, and 73 to everybody tonight. Over to the net.
Okay, very good, Steve. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. So next is Mike, WD8CXO. Go ahead, Mike, with your comments.
Thank you, John. Good evening, and thanks for running the net. Good evening to everybody who's checked in. I'm enjoying the weather, but it still does not entice me to do yard work. I hate doing yard work no matter what. It looks like it. Other than that, viewed the newsletter this afternoon, and thank you to everybody who contributed to the newsletter. I know it helps Vince out immensely, and it does take a considerable effort by some to produce content. So thank you to those that did that. Other than that, that's about all I got. 7-3 to all. Have a great week. WB8CXO.
Okay, Mike. I'm correcting the change in the D to a B. Thanks. So 73, and have a good evening. Okay, next is Ralph, the N8BAY. Go ahead, Ralph, with your comments.
This is N8BAY, Ralph. I really don't have any comments tonight, just relaxing tonight and listening to everyone else give their comments. So with that, this is N8BAY, back to net.
Okay, Ralph, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, next is Ron, KE8KVI. Go ahead, Ron, with your comments.
Good evening, John, and everyone out there in Radio Land. I hope everyone had a good day. My day was rather uneventful, virtually no technical issues, but I did manage to dash outside a little bit ago and look up and see the International Space Station go over. I was kind of amazed because I've got an expressway about 30 yards west of me, and it generates enough light that sometimes I can't see it.
Yeah, I got to see it also. It was passing through a tree for a while, but then it came out of the tree directly over the street, and I went over my neighbor's house and went, it was visible a little farther, and then it was below where the sun could shine on it. So, it's been several years since I got to see it. The combination of the factors to be able to see it just didn't line up. Including my availability to go and look at it. So, very good. Thanks for checking in, Ron, and have a good evening. Okay, that takes us to the bottom of the list. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking for check-ins.
KE8ULA, Leo.
Leo, I have you. Another one, please.
KA8WTK.
Okay, I got Bill KA8WTK, and there was somebody else in there along with Bill.
WA8WFX.
I got Floyd, WA8WFX, and another check-in, please. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, yeah, Leo, yeah, when I was talking with you on the phone there, for some reason my cell phone just dropped off, so I don't know what that was. And then I was out and I was talking with my wife on it to the home phone, and it did the same thing. So I checked it a few days later, and it was working fine. So I don't know if it was something with the system or what. So that worked out well, getting your log, and I created your summary information. So go ahead with your comments.
Yeah, roger that, John. Yeah, I appreciate your calling, and thanks for your help with that log. That was my phone. That number, it's my landline. It's a wireless phone, one of the old wireless phones, and the battery shot on it. So that was my phone that died, and I couldn't get it back up. And I don't have anybody's numbers. I'm trying to get my email on the club roster. I don't even have access to the club roster, though, so I got to figure that out, get that all straightened out. So, but yeah, thanks. I had a blast. Sea Park to the Field, that was a blast, especially being mobile. It was a lot of fun for me. I had a little bit of fun tonight. So I did see the International Space Station. I don't have crossband repeat, so I can't really bounce a signal off that repeater, but I did get to listen to it and watch it as it flies past at, what is it, like 186,000 miles an hour, something like that. Then I did have a question. So I've got the 25th marked on my calendar, but I might have to zoom into the meeting. My wife's having knee surgery at the middle of the month, and so I might not be able to get away depending on how her recovery is going. So I've got that marked on my calendar, and I do want to see that meeting, but I may have to just zoom into that. So with that, KE8ULA, back to the net.
Okay, Leo, yeah, well, it will be on Zoom, so you'll be able to see it. So, very good. Okay, well, that answers the question about the telephone there. Very good. Thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know. And let's see. Send the phone number and email address that you want on the roster to Anthony at k8zt@cfarc.org, and he'll put it on there. That's Kilo 8 Zulu Tango, Kilo 8 Zulu Tango at cfarc.org.
Copy that. Thanks for the info, KE8ULA.
Okay, great. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, so let's see. Next then is Bill, KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill, with your comments.
W8VPV, KA8WTK. Evening, John, and everybody on the net. Spent the last 4 nights camping at Silver Springs, Stowe Harvest Festival at out of the historical area on Young Road, and wife spent a lot of time cooking, making apple butter in a big old copper pot, and then me and one brother-in-law, we processed it, which took us into the evening quite a way. There were a lot of jars made. And one night, I think it was Thursday night, the first night we went out, we went up and Ken, the park ranger, makes sure that everybody knows when an ISS pass is going to be, and a little talk and points it out to people. Break the time. About a 5-minute pass, so it was really very bright. And darn, I forgot to take a handy copy and try to hear if there's any telemetry or packet radio coming down from it. They can't remember everything. So, back to net control, W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Very good, Bill. That sounds like that was fun with that apple butter, and very interesting regarding the International Space Station. So 73, and have a good evening. Okay, that takes us to Floyd, WA8WFX. Go ahead, Floyd, with your comments.
Hey, good evening, John, everybody else on the net. Good to hear Mike, one of the old timers with me, hanging in there. Say hi to you, and we'll say hi to some classmates. What happened here? I think I zinged out. I think I may have timed out. Anyways, to my classmates, Frank and Ron, good to hear you both on there. Anyways, we'll be hanging around, listening to the rest of the net, and hope everybody has a great evening. WA8WFX.
Okay, Floyd, very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, so that takes us to the bottom of the list. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John, WO3X, at the mic, asking for check-ins. Okay, I'm not hearing any at this time. Let's see here. I will repeat the announcements. So this Wednesday, that's October 4th, is a Zoom meeting for the officers and trustees, and that starts at 7:30 p.m. Then Wednesday of next week, October 11th, is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club business meeting. Then on the 4th Wednesday of October is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club activity meeting, and it will be a presentation both in person and on Zoom for us, K1RF, end-fed antennas. So that will be a useful and interesting presentation. Whether you're in person or on Zoom, you will be able to see that presentation. Then on November 8th, we're going to swap the business meeting and the activity meeting. So November 8th will be the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club activity meeting with the activity to be announced. And then on November 22nd will be the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club business meeting. And that will be the last business meeting of the year. Then the next day after that business meeting will be the Geneseret Home Run for the Homeless. So we will be looking for amateur radio operators to operate on 2 meters for that event. We will have a designated simplex frequency. And let's see, so that's, October 8th is the technician license class. I recommend that if you are going to take that class, or you know somebody that wants to take it, have them register early this week so that they can see what book is required and get that book before the class starts. Again, that's on this Sunday, October 8th. And you can see the registration and all that by going to our website at www.cfarc. Click on the word education, and then there's the class there. Go through the slides, and if you want to register for it, it has what to go to, and it's tiny.cc/CFARC-TECH. And that's on it's on one of the slides there. So take a look at that real soon. Okay, let's see. That's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, at 9:30 p.m. will be the band, the HF plus 6-meter band exploration net, and this evening it will be on 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. So I will be the net control station for that. So tune in and try to check in. I'll see if I can hear you. So with that, in preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 22 check-ins counting myself, and return the repeater to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:12 p.m. local time. 7-3.
W8VPV. Repeater.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night 6-meter and HF band exploration net. My name is John and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information and to enhance net operating practices. This band exploration net meets every Monday evening at 9:30 p.m. local time. Preceded by the VHF-UHF net at 8:30 and Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. The frequency of this band exploration net is on the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club calendar. And so next week it will be on 10 meters. And the week after that it will be on 40 meters, and the following week after that it will be on 80 meters. So refer to the calendar to see the frequency that it will be on that particular Monday. When checking in, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. Also, let me know if you have any comments or traffic for the net, or if you are checking in and out. I will start with announcements and then call for members or officers who have information for the club, for the net. Okay, let's see. When all have checked in, I will repeat the announcements and give one last call for check-ins. Here are the announcements. this coming Sunday, October 8th, is the technician license class. It's an online class that it's free, there's no fee for it, but you need to register for it, and I recommend to register early this week so that you can get the book in time for the class. Go to www.cfarc.org, click on the word education up the top, and that will take you to the page that has about the class and about taking a license exam. And so if you go to the class and scroll down through the slides, there's a link there to register, and it's tiny.cc/cfarc-tech. And it's that link is on the last slide, on one of the slides there, near the end, or it is the last slide. That's the link to register. Again, that's this coming Sunday, October 8th. So register early to get your book. If you know anybody that wants to get their amateur radio license, let them know real soon so that they can register and get the book also. Okay, again, that class is October 8th. Then this coming Wednesday, October 4th, is a Zoom meeting for the officers and trustees. That will be at 7:30 p.m. this Wednesday. Then the following Wednesday is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club business meeting. It will be in person and on Zoom. In person, it will be at Pilgrim United Church of Christ, 130 Broad Boulevard. Get to the parking lot by going on 2nd Street, and the parking lot is south of Broad Boulevard on 2nd Street. So go around the block or whatever to get on the correct side so you can go in that parking lot. Let's see here then. On October 25th is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club activity meeting, and there will be a presentation by K1RF on end-fed antennas. And so you'll be able to see that presentation whether you are in person or on Zoom. So again, that's our activity meeting, and that's 7:30. Starts at 7:30 p.m. on October 25th. On November 8th, we will have our activity meeting also, rather than the business meeting. And again, that's November 8th, 7:30 p.m. The activity is to be announced. Then November 22nd is our business meeting, and that will be in person and on Zoom. And the day after that business meeting is the Genesaret Home Run for the Homeless, for which we need amateur radio operators to correspond with net control during that Genesaret Home Run for the Homeless. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John, WO3X, at the mic, asking for check-ins from officers or members who have information for the net. Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
KA8WTK.
Okay, I got KA8WTK, and there was somebody else there. KD8YAX. Is there another check-in?
KE8YTG in and out.
KE8YTG in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Is there another check-in?
K8PU.
K8PU. Larry. And is there another check-in? Okay, we'll go up to the top of the list. Bill, KA8WTK, go ahead with your comments. And your audio is very good.
Well, I should hope it is. This is KA8WTK. This is the ICOM 7300. That Kenwood doesn't go up this high. But I'm noticing even on my voice on this radio, around 1500, I don't produce much in the way of audio right in the mid-range there. So in the area of about 1100 to about 1500, there's a nice hole in the spectrum there. So we'll have to see if I can get the Kenwood looking this way. I've got a new microphone for it, and it seems to be better, but I'm still figuring out things about it. So, back to net control. WAVPV, KA8WTK. Have a good evening, John.
Okay, Bill. Very good. Yeah, the audio was good there. So, okay, yeah. So that explains why it's not the Kenwood there. So, 73. Have a good evening. And let's see. So that takes us to Forrest. KD8YAX. Go ahead, Forrest, with your comments.
No comments. I was checking in. I should have said 10 watts.
Oh, that's okay, Forrest. It's always fun to hear you there. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. And KE8YTG was in and out, so that takes us to Larry. K8PU. Go ahead, Larry, with your comments.
Evening, John. Everybody on the net. Oh, nothing different from 2 meters. Just nice weather. Got a little hike in down up the Cascade, and making some fence repairs and a few things got to get done for winter. I can't beat weather like this. This is as good as it gets. So that's about it, John. Catch everybody next week. So thanks for doing the net. You're doing a good job. And certainly doing your share. So back to you, WAGTV and KTU.
Okay, Larry, very good. Yeah, your signal's really strong here, so whatever antenna you're using is working well. So 73, and have a good evening. So that takes us to the bottom of the list. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins. WB8CXO, good evening, Mike. Go ahead, I won't go one at a time here. Okay, Mike, very good. You have a good signal here. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for a check-in. Whiskey 8, Echo Zulu Tango.
Okay, I got Whiskey 8, Echo Zulu Tango, and I got AB8OU. We'll get back with you in a moment there, Zeke. Go ahead, Frank, with your comments.
Don't have much to add. Finally got home and checking in here. As I say, we're having some repeater issues, so sometime in the next couple of days, let's try to get a repeater group of us together to go up there and inspect and maybe check out the repeater a little bit. If you're interested, John, let me know, and I'm certainly happy to include you in there. Other than that, that's all I've got. We'll hand it back to you, and you can catch Zeke. W8EZT, back to that.
Okay, yeah, let me know. Let's see, the forecast is for rain on Thursday, and Friday doesn't look too good, so let's see, I'm busy in the morning, early, the first half of the morning tomorrow, but maybe Wednesday. What do you think?
I don't think it's going to be that soon. I've got to sit down and get some test equipment, some of which was already packed away from my storage unit. So probably Wednesday or Thursday at the absolute earliest, and realistically, it might even be sometime this weekend.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll have to check my schedule on the weekend there. So, okay, well, let me know. And thanks for checking in, and have a good evening, and thanks for looking into that repeater problem. Okay, next is Zeke, AB8OU. Go ahead, Zeke, with your comments. Okay, Zeke, very good. 73, thanks for checking in, and have a good evening. I was able to copy you just fine. You're above the noise, so that's all that was needed. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. That takes us to the bottom of the list. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking for check-ins.
Yeah, K8HMS, John.
K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
Okay, real quick, I forgot to switch to my 6-meter antenna, so I'm just yakking on my long wire here, my big 60-foot long wire. Hope you're copying me okay, but anyway, yep, just wanted to check in, give you another one for the numbers, and thanks so much for running both nets. So, yeah, guess that's about it for now. Back to net, K8MS.
Okay, Steve, very good. Well, you're way above the noise, so no problem copying you. So, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Kilo, Echo 8, Tango, Quebec, Romeo, Keith.
Okay, KE8TQR. Go ahead, Keith, with your comments.
W8BPV, KE8TQR. I'm on a 6-meter beam that's on a mast hole, so there's no way to move it. How's my transmission coming in?
Well, I can hear you. You're above the noise, so I'm running a vertical antenna. That's all I have for 6 meters is a vertical. It's a 3-band vertical, 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. So I'm copying you plenty good. It's good enough to hear you.
All right, I appreciate appreciate that, Tom. I've got a zero 6-meter beam. It's up about 18 feet and it's pointed south-southwest. I wasn't sure I'd be able to transmit to you, but I've been sitting here listening to everybody, well, mostly everybody, but I just wanted to give this a try. I was over there on the other net, and you said something about trying 6 meters, so here I am. But anyway, I'll send it back to you. Good talking to you, and glad to hear everybody know. This is KEHTQR 73.
73 there, Keith, and have a good evening. Thanks for checking in. Okay, let's see. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Okay, nothing heard at this time. I'll give one last call after the announcements. Okay, so October 4th is a Zoom meeting for the officers and trustees. That's at 7:30 p.m. Then, very important here, October 8th is our technician license class. So go to www.cfarc.org and click on the word education, and then look through the slides, and if you are interested or know somebody that's interested, have them register and then obtain the book for the class. Again, that class starts October 8th, so that's this coming Sunday, so you want to get the book before the class starts. Okay, then October 11th is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club business meeting. It will be in person and on Zoom. In person, it will be at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, 130 Broad Boulevard in Cuyahoga Falls. You get to the parking lot, which is it's on 2nd Street, south of Broad Boulevard. Let's see here. Then on October 25th is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club activity meeting, and there will be a presentation by K1RF about end-fed antennas. So you'll be able to see that presentation whether you are in person or on Zoom. So again, that's on October 25th, 7:30 p.m. Okay, let's see, October 29th is the Maslin Ham Fest. Then November 8th is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club activity meeting with the activity to be announced. We're swapping the activity meeting and the business meeting so that the activity meeting doesn't conflict with Thanksgiving Day travels and things like that. So that's why we're having it on the second Wednesday of November, and then the fourth Wednesday of November will be the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club business meeting, the last one for the year. That's November 22nd. And the next day is the Geneseret Home Run for the Homeless, for which we will need amateur radio operators to be there for that home run for the homeless. That's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic. Last call for check-ins.
Recheck John W80ZT.
Go ahead, Frank.
I have not heard anything at all about the Genericet race yet. I mean, I know it has traditionally been Thanksgiving morning, but has anybody made any announcements, requests, or anything like that?
Not yet, but that's when it usually is, so I'm just announcing it, that it's a possibility.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep my calendar open. I just hadn't heard anything else about it, and this is the first I heard. All right, thanks, John. W8ECT, back to net.
Yeah, I just mentioned it because I have a little calendar here that I mark up, and then so that day, that the number for that date is in red, so, and it says Thanksgiving Day, so that kind of reminds me that that's when that would be. Okay, so very good. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic. Last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, none heard, so in preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. As mentioned earlier, this band exploration net meets every Monday at 9:30 p.m. Next week, the frequency will be 28.360 megahertz upper sideband, plus or minus QRM. Please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. All comments are welcomed and valuable to us. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal, customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:55 p.m. local time with 10 check-ins counting myself. 7-3.
fucking Z-Pack. You take like 2 pills in the morning and then 2 pills at night. And I did that, and after about the second day, I started feeling better. But you didn't get the COVID vaccine, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get I got the Moderna the last time, but 2 previous times it was that other kind. And so I did okay, and I take vitamins, but it finally just caught up with me, I guess. Everybody in our company got it last year, finally.
Well, I took the first one, and I wouldn't take no more. Took a flu shot when the doctor released me about a week or so ago. And I asked her before she gave me the flu shot, was it any COVID-19 in it? And she said no, and I said, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that flu shot's a good idea, especially for those of us over 60.
Yeah, pneumonia too. And the shingles.
Yeah, I do the shingle shot.
Yeah, I did the pneumonia, shingles, and flu.
I might get that shingle shot, but I ain't getting none of the other stuff. Well, I highly recommend the shingle shot, I guarantee you. That's a booster. You go and get one, then you go back like 3 months later and get the second one.
Well, I've been taking the flu shot for 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, me too, Travis. It seems like it helps.
Well, if you get a cold, it's not nowhere around this bad. You know how you, when you would get get the flu, I should say, you would sit around and just hurt, ache for days. It don't do you that way if you got the flu shot.
Well, guys, it's after 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna try to make tomorrow a better day than today was. So we'll see how that goes. Y'all take care. I'll catch y'all tomorrow night in 5MSA. Have a great day, Dan.
Good night, Dan.
Terry, what's wrong with you? I hadn't heard you all night.
It's on ABC. It's on ABC.
think that Seahawks quarterback must have got booted out.
The plan, I think, for me is going to be sell this one off, and I'll have enough equity to just pay hers off altogether and then build the garage I want down there and be good to go.
There you go. That sounds like a great plan to me. Get that stuff paid for, while you're still working. Don't go in retirement owing anything. Have everything paid for.
Well, that's the plan, at least. Yeah, that's the plan. So, I retired once off the Navy, then I get my disability stuff. I'm not going to hold up on Social Security. I'm going to try and probably draw that as early as possible, and I think we should be set.
That's pretty much what I did. That's exactly what I did. I retired at 62. I did it. I quit working about 6 months before I could retire. I was done with it, man.
Well, with everything going on right now, she ended up quitting her house about a month ago, and when I caught wind of that, I know she didn't want me contacting her, but I went ahead and called her up, and I've talked to her, a handful of times since then, and but anyway, so as of Thursday, I ended up picking up. I told her I didn't want her working, to sit around, focus on your dad, get your stuff good to go. She's been taking care of him 7 days a week for about 4 years now. Like the mental strain on her is bad. It's real bad. So she's working on herself, helping him, still doing everything else. I said, don't worry, I'll cover all your bills and then some, and we'll worry about dealing with us later.
Oh man, that's real good on you. That's the right thing to do. That's very nice that you're doing that, because I can only imagine that would, especially that length of time and seeing all the stuff that happens, and now where you're at now, she probably is about to crack up.
Yeah, she's in a pretty dark place still, but the plan, I'll get her out of that. But I'm watching the decline. So we've been together 6 or 7 years up until January, and then in January something triggered her, and but I've been watching her go downhill for 3 or 4 years before this, and it was cruddy to watch. It's even worse for her living it, like being, she got a front row seat to watching her dad get worse. And I sort of hate that part. I really hate that part. I can't tell her I'd do anything for her when she needs me the most. I'm not going to stay away like she wants. I'm going to be there to help her out, whether she sort of wants me there or not. And if she wants to take a big rocks after that, that's fine. But I can't let her down when she needs me the most.
Well, that's good on you, man. It's good. That says a lot about your character right there. And after she gets past all of this, she'll appreciate that.
that's what I'm hoping, but I told her, like, there's no strings attached, don't expect her to pay me back. I told her it's not going to put me in a, I told her what she needed to hear to make her not feel bad about accepting some help, and I've never, like, she's always been pretty stubborn about stuff like that anyways, but I sort of had to tell her this time, like, no, I'm dead serious. I want you to do this. Like, don't focus on anything else. Just like enjoy the time you got.
Roger. And that's sometimes hard to accept. I'm pretty hard-headed, and so I can kind of relate to her on that.
Well, yeah, she's pretty stubborn. My little brother was like, oh man, you screwed up, you did this, she's never going to want to work, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you don't even know her like that. I promise you, she's not a user. She's not going to take advantage of it. It's what she needs to help herself cope. Just take, that's a pretty big chunk off her plate, just to not have to worry about having an income, taking care of everything, and the kids and herself, and doing everything on her own. That's, if I can take as much stress off her as I can, that's what I need to do.
Roger, it's nice to have a good friend to give you a hand when you're down, a helping hand. And I'm sure she'll appreciate it. She'll get going. All this will be past her, and then she'll get her head back right and want to go back to work, and she'll appreciate it.
Well, like when I called her tonight, she had a stroke this morning, and I called her tonight, and I asked her, I'm like, look, I'm supposed to go out of town this weekend to a wedding up in New York. Told her about all that. I was like, I asked her, I said, how bad's your dad? Do I need to, because I was going to try and head down there last weekend, like a couple days ago, but they had a little family get-together thing they had going on, so I asked her, like, do I need to take tomorrow off and shoot down, or can it wait until, like, possibly the following weekend? And, she said that she thinks it'll be a while, so I'm going to go hit this wedding thing, come back, and then shoot down there.
Man, you're a road warrior, ain't you? That's some driving, ain't it?
Oh, I've made that drive probably, I don't know, over the past 7 years. I'd probably say I've made that drive at least 300 times.
Dang. All right, man. Well, I wish you well. I'm gonna be quiet for a minute. I guess somebody might want to say something, but I ain't heard nothing. But I'm sorry you have to go through all that. I hate to hear anybody having rough times, but she's fortunate to have a good friend like you taking care of her or helping her out.
Well, yeah, I can't. And all that stuff I told her, I can't mean it if I don't stand behind it, So, but I think I'm gonna hop off. I gotta get the kiddo ready for bed, and then I need to get ready for bed because I need to go work my 1 or 2 days this week before I head out of here again.
Roger, you gotta go deal with that 5-foot short thing. All right, man. Well, nice talking to you, and I wish you well, and I hope everything works out for her. And that's good on you, man. You got a gold star. KB3DOR. We'll see you later, man. Take care.
All right, Rob. You too. Yeah, it's not a gold star, but she's worth it, and she knows that. And it's pretty complex, but I'm pretty sure if I couldn't ask her to make a choice between like me and her dad like that, and like I get where she was coming from. So I mean, it happens. You got to be understanding. So I think she's definitely worth it. So, but I'll catch you later on. Y'all probably gonna be on here tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'll be on here. I've been trying to work this amp a little bit, make sure it's going to be okay. And I seem to got it working pretty good. I just wanted to see how it was going to act, if it was going to get hot or my antenna was going to act stupid. Just kind of breaking it in a little bit. So I'll be on here tomorrow night. It's good talking to you, man. And it'll all work out. Yeah, it sounds like you're doing good by her. and I can understand her wanting to be with her dad in the last days. That's pretty hard. That's harsh right there. KB3 DOR. We'll see you, man.
All right, Rob. Sounds good. I'll catch you later on. Hey, just out of curiosity, what kind of grid current are you running on that tube?
Let's see here. Let me throw a dead carrier on AM, and I'm putting 35 watts into it. Let me look at it. Okay, it's doing about right at 600 watts with a 35 watts dead key, and the grid's about 65, maybe 70, and the plate's 275, almost 300.
Okay, now you're good there. Just try not to go over 130 milliamp on that grid. That's the overload on those 3500s. 130?
Is that what you said?
Yeah, and if it's like the 80 Alpha, the 80B, the 80 Bravo book says it's. I think Ameritron says they can hit them with 150 or 175, but yeah, I wouldn't. I'd go off what the tube manufacturer says.
You know, I'm glad to hear you say that, because that's exactly what I do. I got on there and I looked on the. This tube don't have no name on it. It's a graphite tube, but it doesn't have any kind of name on it. It just got 3500Z scratched on it, but it's made like one of those. Oh man, what's that thing? Anyway, I recognize the way it's made. I'm sure it's a Chinese knockoff, and that's what they were saying, 120. So I figured if I kept it below 100, I'd be fine.
Oh yeah, then you got the one that probably looks like a bunch of wafers stacked on top of each other, like a bunch of beveled ends, like a stack of buttons almost.
Yeah, exactly. And does that thing you put on the anode, you know, you see those things, is that worth doing, or is that just some gimmick?
You're not going to be pushing hard enough to need that anode cooler. I wouldn't worry about it. You're not pushing it to the max. I never ran one on mine.
And I guess it seems like you know what you're talking about. So should you run these hard? How should you run this thing?
If you're pushing 600 out of it, I would say that's pretty safe, because once you start getting, once you start getting above 800, they start getting weird spurious emissions and stuff like that on occasion. But at 600, you're going to stay nice and linear. You're not going to be overheating it or overdriving it. You don't have to worry about the dissipation stuff. You'll get a little heat coming out of that side of that box, but not much. But and I'm pretty sure is it glowing orange on you when you key down on it?
Yeah, let me look at it here. Yeah, I'm looking. That's a cool looking sucker through there. It ain't making no colors at all while I'm talking. Maybe I need to keep it keyed longer, but it's not making any color in there.
Oh, that's a good thing, because if when they start getting hot, it's usually when they're not tuned right, and you'll see that graphite really start changing colors. But remember, sideband's different than AM or a single tone carrier. It's going to be up and down, so that the average power is considerably lower than it would be on AM or RTTY or something like that.
I see what you're saying, because sideband, you got a little, in between your words, you're kind of giving it a little break, Well, I'm going to ask you this. I know you got to go, but yeah, I keep, all my life, all these amps I've had over my life, I would put in whatever power I'm going to run. So like here, I'm putting in 35 watts. So you put in 35 watts, and you tune it for max smoke, and then maybe you turn the load just a little bit more forward. And that's just the way I've always ran it. But if you read that magazine or the paper from Ameritron, they tell you to load it up full bore and then turn your drive down. Now, and I'm confused. Which one is it?
No, dip the grid. Dip the grid. That's the way you're supposed to.
So you would turn the load a little more forward by dip. Is that how you dip it?
Yeah. Generally, you'll just a little smudge more after that, and that's what I've always heard, and seems to work fairly well.
That's pretty much what I was doing. You know, I just tune it for max smoke and turn the load a little bit. You know, and you see the power go down, and that's how I ran it. And I ain't blown one up yet. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, never mind. Take that back. I have two blowing one up. But you know, if you're going to run, a Maritron tells you 70 watts is the most you can put through here. And they say you put 70 watts in here, and you tune the thing for max smoke, and then you turn your drive down to whatever power level you want. So in my case, it'd be 35. And I just thought that sounded squirrely, man. But that's how they're saying to do it.
Yeah. They don't. I don't think they really have you dip it on there. But I think when they do that, because I think you've got a CW and a sideband switch too, don't you?
No, just standby, on and off, and then the other stuff.
Okay, so you don't have a high voltage, low voltage deal. You're just hot all the time. Yeah, I always tune for max and then just go just a smudge more, and you'll lose a little power, but it's supposed to think like if you think of RF like you would alternating current like AC, it makes a lot more sense that way. But when you're tuning it, you want to dip that grid a little just to not shoot for the absolute max out of that thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yes sir, it does. It does. That's pretty much what I've been doing. You know, just turn the load a little bit and the grid goes down and the power goes down. But I don't know, I just thought that just didn't make no sense to me. Somebody told me that, and I read the manual like 20 times, and I'll be darned if that's not what they're saying. I mean, if you're only going to put, 35 watts into it, that's where you'd want to tune it at. You know, the ideal of tuning it at a higher power and turning it down, I've always told you ain't supposed to do that. But a Maritron says that's what you're supposed to do.
Like this one I've got, the 78, it has you tune it. So mine, I've got a high power, low power, CW or SSB switch. But the voltage difference is, 2400 on high and like 1600 on low. But it has you tuned for max on low, while slowly increasing the drive, and then you turn the drive back down and flip it over to high voltage and fine tune it in and work your way back up and let her eat.
So, like, if you was going to say you was going to put a, 25 watts into it or whatever, I know you got that big old sucker over there. So you're going to put 25 watts into it. That's where you'd be you wouldn't turn it down after you tune it, would you?
No, I would leave it at 25 because they're also planning on you. They're anticipating you putting more drive power through it in the end. Like on me, I've gone through and figured out where to tune mine for different frequencies, and I've got it all written down so I can just sort of speed through and change it up. And I don't have to go through and check anything. I know it's going to be set where I need it, and I don't run mine very hard either. I run mine at I'm only putting right now I think I'm putting 16 watts into it, 13 or 16 watts into it, and it's swinging out 345, 350.
That's because of that lady with that light bulb. If she had that light bulb, you'd have that sucker jacked up a little bit.
Well, when I had a tube out, I don't know if the tube went out before or after that. I would say probably the tube was probably out before, because I've always noticed the temperature thing on that hole until I bought that flare, and it came in yesterday, and I figured out that one was dead. I was like, well, let me look into this thing. Either that or it's biased way off, but I ended up, when I tried it last night playing around, like I cranked it up until I got a solid 1380 out of it, and I was like, oh, let me back it down, and I didn't want to risk damaging another one of those tubes that you can't find no more.
But you know, if you didn't have the light bulb to worry about, you could probably run it at 800, couldn't you? Probably, and it wouldn't hurt it none, would it?
Oh no, you can run this thing at over 1,000 all day and it'd be fine.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, I talk to people about this and I read stuff, and you know, I've never had one of these, so it's kind of new to me a little bit. And yeah, everybody's telling me something different, so I was a little confuzzled. So I just put it on, you know, whatever power I'm going to run and tune for max smoke, turn the load a little bit, and so far fire ain't came. It ain't getting hot. Tube ain't changing color.
No, that means you got it tuned right. Yeah, if you look it up, they call it dipping the grid is what they call it.
Well, I just kind of like you do my old 830.
Exactly.
Well, hey, Big John.
Hey, I'm sitting here listening to you guys. I'm running a AL80B, and I am freaking blind.
Yeah, but you're an exceptional human being. You can see through the dark.
Well, I can see through a magnifying glass. Yeah, Mike, I could use a little help myself, over.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it happens. I'm still lucky that some of my eyesight still works. That's about the only thing I got going for me.
Yeah, I could use some help with this AL80B. I used to dip the grid on my 811. I would dip the grid, but on this one, I just set the recommended factory settings for the plate and the load. I guess that's the right way to say it. I'm having to look through the map. I can see where I'm going. I can see where I'm walking. I can see my surroundings, but everything's scrambled. It's like I can't read any kind of print whatsoever unless the letters are big and blocky and about 4 or 5 inches tall. Then I can start seeing things, but otherwise I have to have some magnification. So I run my AL80 at about 40 watts, and I set the factory recommended settings, and I get about 600 out of it. I have twisted it up, and I've seen 900 out of it, depending on which antenna I was on. Some antennas load better than others, but I figure I'm not hurting anything. But I could use some help there, Rob and Mike, on running this thing, because I can't read the manual whatsoever.
Well, actually, it probably wouldn't hurt to. You'll be safe at the levels you're at. That's what I would say. It'd definitely be safe at the levels you're at. But do you have anybody fairly close that you trust to do some fine tuning?
Well, I mean, I could take some instruction over the air. I have like 3 of these little lamps, table lamps that are, it's a magnifying glass with a circular fluorescent lamp around it, and that's how I slide them up and down the table. And I have a very good antenna tuner with the watt meter in it. I'm trying to think of what brand it is. Hold on a minute. Let me look. I got to turn the light on. Star 2K. Hold on.
Probably the AT2K.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, those are nice. Very nice tuners. Yeah. No, you got to. Yeah, you should be pretty much set on that. Well, if you want one night, we can maybe tomorrow night. We can see if we can get that glass, move the glass down, and we'll sort of fine tune it. But Can you see colors pretty good too? Like as far as like if you had like if we had it color coded, like let's say you were tuned for 80 or 75 with like an orange pointer, so you knew exactly where to put it at, and then like maybe a green and a blue and like a yellow or something, where you can have this sort of preset where you know on what frequency you can just flip over and set it right there, and you'll be pretty close.
Well, I've already done that. I copied I have the copy of the manual right here, and I really can't read it too well. But what I did is I took some index cards and made some cheat sheets, and I have two antennas that load up differently, and so I've got that on my cheat sheet. So I've got a cheat sheet here, some index cards, and so what I do is I go into the and I turn the is it the plate and the load, and yeah, I feel kind of embarrassed because I've been a ham for 46 years, and I took my license. I got my license at a FCC field office, but I've been in the restaurant business, running restaurants for 30 years, and then raising 3 kids. So I've never really gotten into the technical aspect of the hobby, other than building a few antennas over.
Oh, there ain't nothing wrong with that. It's a learning curve. I had my license a year and a half now or so, and but it's all learning. I've been playing with RF for a while, not so much legally, and the more I learned about filtering, the less prone I was to building dirty stuff after that. But it's a learning curve. It just depends on interest too, interest and time. Like I put off getting my license because the kids came around, the career took off, and I didn't have time for it. I bought my radio. I would say 12 or 13 years before I got my license. Over.
Wow, how about that? I need the ID. This is N4XYC. Go ahead, Rob. Jay. Okay, well, I'll ride along with you guys for a little while here and listen, enjoying hearing the conversation. N4XYC.
Oh, no, you're good, John. I think Rob was going to hop. I don't know if Rob's hopping on. I had to. I got to get the kiddo to bed, and then I need to get ready for tomorrow myself. So, but I'm hoping Rob's still on here. But if not, I think we're planning on being back here tomorrow night too. Same time, same place, and we'll see if we can't do that. But I think you've already pretty much got it. If you've got the different tunes for both antennas, you should be fine. And if you're only pushing 40 watts into it, and it's not so much the watts that I'm worried about. It would be the grid current, because you don't want to put too much grid current in there. But yeah, and it's when they the two knobs on it should be a tune and load capacitor. They're both pretty much just capacitors, but the plate's usually the plate voltage, the high voltage setting on it. And if I've never had an 80B, I had an older 80A, which was the first one I got. And playing with that, I was doing a lot of learning with it, and never damaged it or hurt it, but it was definitely a learning curve. And actually, I had to have somebody show me to make sure I felt comfortable with it too. So, but everybody does it different. But apparently, a lot of the stuff I read and looked up, it was saying that 30, 40 years ago, everybody was taught to dip these grids, and it does. That's what it does. It protects it from being pushed to the max.
Yeah. I need to dip the grid. So, okay. Well, good night, Mike, and 73, and I'll listen a little while here. N4XYC.
All right, John, you have a good one. I'll say 73 to you for now, but I'll catch you tomorrow night. This is Kilo Oscar 4, Yankee Alpha Oscar, going QRT.
Alpha Bravo 2 Victor Whiskey.
noise. I did hear a station calling CQ. I just got to the ham shack. If you want to try your call again, I got a lot of QRM, but I'll try to pull it in. This is Kilo Bravo 9, Juliet X-Ray Zulu, Twin Lakes, Wisconsin. I got a Whiskey Bravo Tango, I believe, something YZ. Your signal's good, but my QRM is gooder. I'm getting about a 5x9 of just QRM or atmospheric static, but your audio is good. It's just it's a rough night out here. Kilo Bravo 9, Juliet X-Ray Zulu. Kilo Bravo 9, Juliet X-Ray Zebra. I actually got more of that than previous transmissions. Yeah, I have about an S9 atmospheric noise for some reason. Yeah, this is a Yaesu 450 using VS6 BKW, which is like a G5 RV type ladder line dipole antenna, up about 40 feet. Running probably 80, 100 watts, whatever the radio decides to do. But yeah, and like I said, I'm over here in Twin Lakes, Wisconsin, about 8 miles east of Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Over. Oh, the name is Mike. Mike India Kilo Echo. Mike. QSL, alright, I got a lot of noise. I'm really struggling to hear you, and I shouldn't, because you're giving me probably a 5x9, 5x10 over, so, but I got a bunch of noise. I'm going to see if it's something here local. I'm going to check out of here for a few minutes. Just checking to see how the wingnut. There's a group of guys out here, wingnuts. Don't know if you talk to any of them. We do a lot of rag chewing out here. Have a really great time shooting and chewing fat. I'm gonna try checking in here in just a bit. I'm gonna see if I can figure out why I got all this static. I don't know if it's the atmosphere or what, but I'm really getting beat up. So maybe I'll catch you in a bit, Keith. If not, check in again out here. Take care. This is KB9JXZ.
I'd like to join in, please, on some ham radio fun, please.
cheap, and it was coming from, I didn't realize it was coming from China, though. Well, that's okay, so I kept tracking it, and it was out for delivery. I thought, okay, I'm going to get it, and I'll be doggone if it didn't say it was lost. But they sent me a link to another set of cameras that I could buy if I wanted to, or they'd refund my money. And I was PO'd by then. I said, give me back my money. Yeah, I guess video recording, well, security cameras, but you know, they record on a hard drive. Yeah, I said to heck with it. I just went to Harbor Freight and bought their Cobra cameras, and you know, if you take them back within a year, well, you got to buy the extended warranty. If you take them back within a year, no questions asked, they'll just give you new ones. So I waited until my year was about up, and I took the DV recorder part in, said I want a new one. Okay, and they gave me a new one. No questions asked. I figured, hell, that hard drive spins 24/7. It ain't gonna hurt to start all over. Yeah, I never go back and look at this stuff. I did once for my neighbor, and I guess once when we were down in Texas, I checked the one for the front door, and there were some newspapers. I saw a newspaper one day, and I thought, well, you know, we don't even subscribe to it. Checked it the next day, there's another one there. After 3 days, I called my neighbor and said, you go over and get those 3 papers, throw them in the trash. And I called the newspaper company and said, hey, I don't subscribe to your paper, I don't want it. Well, we were going to give you a month free, see if you liked it. And I said, hell no, I don't want it. So it came in handy in Texas anyway. Well, you know, Amazon is pretty good. We ordered a couple of cell phones, and we, you know, watched them, and pretty soon they said they'd been delivered. Well, we went outside, there wasn't no packages or nothing. So I called somebody, I don't know who I called, told them what happened, Amazon, told them what happened, and they said, well, check your neighbors and give it 3 days, and if they don't show up in 3 days, we just send you a couple more telephones. And I thought, damn, that was awful nice of them. So anyway, come to find out, it was delivered a block away, a block south, to the people's front porch, but they don't use the front porch. They go out the side door and get in their car at the driveway. And I guess they went out the front door to check the mail, saw that box, and brought it down to me. But hell, if they hadn't showed up, Amazon was going to send it to their phones. No big deal.
Good view up there. That's great. The company I worked for was in Sweden, and the U.S. subsidiary.
Russ Kyle this time. Beautiful. It is.
My microphone up to the open window so you can hear it.
5 or 10 seconds. So he's almost there, but might want to turn your audio gain up a little bit. Okay, here it comes, here it comes. There you go. Now you can't fake that, right?
My name is like Papa England, Tango England.
Which company she can be standing by?
Pero no, nosotros por eso estamos aquí, ¿verdad? Eso es lo bonito.